3.5 years back. But before that, I used to just love traveling, and that's why I used to do it. So after having traveled so much, now my motto is I want to inspire everyone to follow their passion. You know, all of us have excuses. Arey, bacche hai ghar mein, we have a family, we have a job. How is it possible? But trust me, where there is a will, there is always a way. And that is going to be my objective of this presentation today, where I try and help you all follow your passion. So why do I travel? Now, these are just a few images of places that I have been to. So the picture that you see here with gorilla is a trek that I had done in a rainforest in Uganda, where we trekked for 3 hours and met these mountain gorillas. It was a mind-blowing experience. This was a solo bike trip that I did in Portugal. And this glacier that you see behind me, I have actually trekked this glacier in Argentina. So I've done some really offbeat travels. Now, how did this change me? So of course, one was, it's amazing to see all these landscape. It's amazing to see all these places that you go to, but how do you plan it, right? Obviously, I don't make so much money that I can travel so much, but it's all about planning it right. It's all about good planning. You know, all of us think traveling abroad is really expensive. Trust me, it isn't if you plan it really, really well. And also, when I would come back from these holidays, I would always be a changed person. Travel really helped me change me as an individual. It made me more experimentative, more reflective. I was able to take more risks in life. The word cannot just got removed from my dictionary. You know, so earlier, the version that I was, every trip I come back, I'm a better version of myself. And hence, I wanted to create a platform to share that with the world. So like I said, I'm also an adrenaline junkie. So right from jumping off a plane in Australia, or scuba diving in Cyprus, or fishing for piranhas in the Amazon forest, or doing a waterfall jump in Costa Rica. So this is basically, you know, I was in Costa Rica last year, December, and I was jumping the waterfall cycling. So, you know, all of this again, more than the adrenaline rush, it's about pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And when you do that on a holiday, trust me, you're okay to also come back and do that in your daily life, where, you know, we have to get out of our cocoon and we have to try and challenge ourselves in every aspect in life, be it in parenting, be it in our jobs, be it in being a good husband or a good wife or anything, or a good daughter. You know, it's all about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And that's again something that my passion has taught me. So in order to share all this with the world, I then created a platform. I wanted to figure out a way where I could start sharing my adventures and stories with the rest of the world. And hence, Travel Chatter was born. Now, this is my website. It's called travelchatter.in, which I launched around 3.5 years back. Of course, I haven't been extremely active because I also had a full-time job. So balancing the two is not that easy. It is a challenge, but you have to work towards it. But I'm going to be giving you some tips on whatever you are doing. You know, like if you want to build your own website, if you want to do something apart from your regular job, the first bit is build your own website. Your website is like your store where you are selling yourself as a brand, right? So you have to be spend a lot of time in focusing on the right things on your website. Your website has to always be a personality about you. So the first step is building your brand, right? And I'm going to right now focus on content creation. So for example, if I am the brand, so I'm saying Anandita Chatterjee and my brand is Travel Chatter. The first step that I have to do in order to become an influencer is build a website. And trust me, the first obstacle that we all face in our head is starting out. You know, when I came to Instagram in 2016 and I saw that all these kids, okay, for 25, 26 years old, and, you know, they're all doing so well. They have like tons and tons of followers. And I'm like, okay, you know, what will I do getting into Instagram right now? And that happens to a lot of us. We get very overwhelmed. So that's something that we have to stop. Stop comparing, stop looking at others, and just start. And the first step to start is building a website. A lot of people think that, you know, I can just have an Instagram account, post good pictures, post good content, and become an influencer. That's not true. You have to first have your website, because aaj Instagram hai, kal kuch aur aayega. You remember a few years back, there was Orkut. Then Orkut went off. Then came Facebook. Then Facebook is not so popular right now, and now it's all about Instagram. So, and tomorrow Instagram can go and something else can come. But your website is something that will always stay. It will be like your address. So that is very important. And also, I'm hoping that all of you who I'm talking to already have an Instagram account, because we'll be focusing a lot on social media strategy today. Now, when you build your website, the next step is picking the right domain name. So for me, I picked up Travel Chatter because Chatter goes with my last name, Chatterjee, and it's also about talking about travel. So always think through this, figure out what is your right domain name. That is very, very important, because your domain name has to click with your readers, with your consumers. So that is very, very important. Be very genuine when you write. Now, when you're writing a blog, now in your website, it's a blog, right? You're going to write articles, or you're going to post pictures, or you're going to post videos. Be very genuine. Write down what you think you want to write. Don't think about, oh, if I write this, I will be judged this way. A lot of us face that. In fact, to tell you the truth, when I wrote my first article, which was in 3 years back in December, I also was getting very perplexed about, okay, if I write this, will the audience understand? Will that audience not understand? Don't do that. Otherwise, you will never be able to write. Just write. You can keep editing it. Get some friends, get some family members to be a critic and tell you things that you should change. But first step is write out. Next, figure out what your niche is. What is your area of expertise? Do you want to talk about food? Do you want to talk about travel? Do you want to talk about books? There could be a lot of us who love reading books. Maybe you could start a blog on book summaries. So there can be tons of ideas on what your expertise and focus is. Next, think about why you want to blog. So it could be because you want to make an online portfolio, or it just could be an outlet. For me, when I wanted to write a blog, it was about sharing my stories. So it was more like a creative outlet for me. So figure out what your reason is and work accordingly. Now, when you start writing a blog on your website, I get a lot of these questions that how long should an article be? Now, what I have seen, what works the best is 1,000 to 1,200 words maximum. Now you can use websites like Word Counter. Now Word Counter, when you write your article on Word, just copy paste it into Word Counter. It's a website, just paste it there. It'll show you how many words there are. And there is another website that I use called Grammarly. In Grammarly, when you paste your article, it will tell you if there are any grammatical errors in the article. Now, how do you build your website? I have used WordPress.com, but there are various other places like Blogspot, Squarespace, Wix, but the best platform to use today is WordPress. It's very user-friendly. You can start off with, they have various layouts. You just have to choose the layout and make the website. It's very, very nice for beginners, and that's how I started with WordPress. And like I mentioned, have a very beautifully designed blog, and that has to reflect you. The colors, the font, everything over there has to reflect you. So this is your first step in becoming an influencer, which is build your own website. Moving on, quantity. Now, when you make a website, it's very, very important to keep in mind that you have to be consistent. You have to keep posting. So ideally, you can have a blog once a week, or you can have a blog once a month. That depends on you. But if you decide that you will post a blog once a month, make sure that you're consistent. Now, this is something where even I go wrong. I am not very consistent at times because of either work pressure or whatever, but at least I try to keep the momentum going. Another point, your blog must have all your social media accounts. Now, all of you have a Facebook page, all of you have a LinkedIn page, all of you have Instagram. Now, you in your website, link all your social media accounts, and there's a way to do that. Link all your social media accounts, and if you come to your website, knows how to find you on social media. In your website, very important, have an About Me section. People should know what you are all about, what your brand stands for, and have a Work With Me section, which talks about all your achievements. Whatever you've done so far should be put in the Work With Me section. Then again, this is of course later, but there's something called as SEO, which is search engine optimization. So this is basically when you write an article, you should have the right keywords. So these are keywords that you should use in your article so that when people search for, say you've written a blog on making the best chocolate cake. Now, when people search for chocolate cake, so that your article comes up in the Google search results in the first page or second page, you have to use the right keywords. So there's a website that I refer to called neilpatel.com. That website will actually give you what are the trending keywords, how much are people looking for that keyword, the search volume, everything. So you can use that for your SEO. But if you're a beginner, I would say just write a few articles, then move into SEO later. And then some videos. So for example, just before this, I showed you a video of the waterfall jump in Costa Rica. What I've done is I have, in my Costa Rica blog on the website, I have actually embedded the YouTube link so that people also go to my YouTube channel. So from my website, I'm also getting people to go to my YouTube channel. So these are few tips on starting out with a website. Now, this is how WordPress looks like. Trust me, here it might look complicated to you all, but it's very simple. Like I said, you just have to figure out a template. And then these are the blogs that I have. And these are the categories and the tags. Of course, I mean, this requires a different session altogether to teach you all how to do a website, but this is something that you all will just learn. Then I spoke about the work with me section. Now on my website, if you see the tabs, I have an about me, destinations, travel tips, and work with me. Now why work with me is important is because when brands want, see at the end of the day, it has to make money. If I'm just making a website and it's sitting out there, it's not sustainable, right? I can't do this full time. So at the end of the day, I want brands to collaborate with me. I want brands to pay me to endorse them. But yes, it has to be brands that I believe in. I will not endorse any and every brand. So you want to write that in your work with me section. So for example, my 60th country was Malta, and Malta Tourism had invited me there. So I have mentioned that in my brand endorsement. I have had few hotels who invite me to come and stay with them and review them. That's what is there. Then I'm also a speaker. So I've spoken about what are the speaker opportunities, the fact that I am listed in the Outstanding Speakers Bureau, which is TOSB. I was live on radio 94.3 with RJ Rishi K last year in July, where we spoke 1 hour about my travel stories live. So these are few things that basically this is about marketing yourself. And that is something you really, really need to do in your website as well. And you know, I was talking about, oh, I also have LinkedIn Local written here. And your social feeds. So my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, my YouTube, all my channels are there in my website as well. So that is about your website. So first step towards becoming an influencer, no matter what category, of course, here we are talking travel, any category, you first build your own website. Next step. Now, once you have your website, you have to figure out a way of people getting to know about you. How will people get to know ki haan, travel chatter karke koi hai, there is somebody called Ananta Chatterjee. For that, you also have to be present on social media. It's very important. You know, a lot of us do not like social media. Trust me, even I, kabhi-kabhi no, main pak jati hu, yaar, kitna Instagram mein baithe raho, kitna Facebook mein baithe raho. You know, it gets irritating. But at the end of the day, if I'm growing a brand, I have to be serious about it. So for me, Instagram is not just a sidekick fun. It's a proper business, right? So I have to start looking at it that way. And that's very important in order to become an influencer. So here I'm going to talk about how to attract followers. So when I started out, obviously I was at 0. And today I have around 11,000 followers on Instagram. And I have around 20,000 on Facebook, because obviously Facebook I started long back. But I'm much more active on Instagram, because Instagram right now is the most hottest community platform ever in order to reach out and build a community. So whether you like it or not, if you have to build a brand, and no matter what brand, be it FMCG, be it service industry, anything, Instagram is a must right now. So few things on Instagram. It's about creating your right profile, right? So in order to be an influencer, Instagram is a must. And when I created my profile, there are few things that I had to focus on. So I am known as travel.chatter on Instagram. So if you look at my profile on Instagram, you'll see the first thing is about focusing on your bio. Now, people who come onto my profile will obviously see this page first. So I should be able to summarize what I stand for. Of course, there are a lot of things I do. I can't probably put everything here, but I want people to know I'm a travel influencer. I want people to know I'm a personal branding coach. And I want people to know I'm a marketing leader. And I want people to know I'm a speaker. So I've ensured all of that. I have only 3 to 4 seconds to attract an eyeball on my page, right? I mean, people's attention span is very low. They will come and they will go. But in that 3 seconds, can I quickly write something which might want them to follow me? So that's something you have to keep in mind. Also, definitely have your email, because you want people to reach out to you. And this takes time. It took me 3.5 years to reach 11K. And that's because I've been very consistently posting. When you start at the beginning, it's going to be very slow. It's very difficult to start getting followers, but you should not give up hope. You have to keep at it. There will be lows, there will be highs, but you have to be at it. Now over here, you can also add a link to your website. Now this is a older screenshot. So which is why right now, if you see, it has travelchatter.in. And also maintain a grid. So when you start posting on Instagram, this is called your grid in Instagram, which is very important. So you want to plan what you want to post. So for example, I have posted travel, travel, travel. In between, I posted dog. Then I posted food. Because if it is just travel, then people might be like, oh, there's too much of travel happening. So I will take a break and post about with my dog at home. I will post about some food at home. So just ensure that your grid looks quite attractive to people when they come at the first go. And on Instagram, there are two things. You can create a private account, or you can have a business account, or you can have a creator account. Now a business account and creator account gives you the same kind of advantages, and I will tell you later what the advantages are. But there are few people who have a private profile. Now that is something which is a big no, because some people make it private, and then what happens if I have to ask you something, or even I have to follow you, I have to send you a request, you will approve it, and then I can follow you. Now, if you want to be an influencer, that's a bad idea, because you're increasing that one step in your customer acquisition journey. So you do not want to make it a private profile. And of course, there are tons of other advantages for a business or a creator profile, and I'll come to that. Now, another thing is making the most of your stories and your posts. So stories and posts, one second. Stories and posts are really, really important because as you all know, on Instagram, on top, you have the stories, right? So these stories stay only for 24 hours. Now you want to keep these stories real, right? You don't want to be talking about, like in your feed, where I show you the grid, they have to be like picture perfect. You'll try and make it as perfect as possible. But story, you want to keep it more real. Maybe in my feed, I might not post something where I'm looking bad, like without makeup and all I'm sitting, but story I will, because that is a real me, right? So that is the difference between story and feed. In order to make Instagram story templates, there are websites like Canva and Unfold. Now these are quite really, really good ones in order to create stories. Tag relevant people. So if I am writing making a story on Malta tourism, I might want to tag Malta tourism. In your story, you can also have hashtags. Now this is something that's important. Instagram is a lot about hashtags. The more number of good hashtags you use, the more people will come onto your profile. I'll get onto that later as well. Now, when you post a story on Instagram, you can share it on Facebook and WhatsApp. You can share on Facebook automatically because you can link the two accounts. And WhatsApp has something called as WhatsApp status. I don't know how many of you all use it, but I also post my Instagram stories on WhatsApp status because a lot of people are not on Facebook and Instagram. Work on trending topics. Now, when you're an influencer, it becomes very important for you to work on the relevant topics. So if there is lockdown going on right now, I will talk about lockdown. If the entire campaign right now is about Black Lives Matter, maybe I won't talk about it if I have a say. But try and keep talking about topics that are currently relevant. Save your story as highlights. Now, these stories are the ones that stay on top, right? So, okay, so these are my stories and these are the highlights. So these stories stay on top, but they only stay for 24 hours. What you can do is save them as highlights. So if you see here, these are my highlights. So my story has gotten saved here as highlights. So then when you save it here, anybody can come into your, anybody can come later and also see this. Sorry, I will just delete it for now because I want to show you the insights. That had gotten overlapped, right? So you want to basically keep your stories relevant and make sure you save your stories. Few other things that you can do is when you go to Instagram and you create a story, there are face filters, there are boomerangs, there's ask me anything, there are a lot of these question stickers. Now try and use them as much as possible because you want feedback from your audience. That's how your engagement goes up when you start using all these platforms that Instagram has to offer. So if you see my travel.chatter story that I posted last night, it was a story where I was in bed with my dog. Now over there, I put in an icon where people can give a poll whether they like that video or they don't like that video. Now, when you do things like this, the engagement keeps going up. Now, one of the reasons why I mentioned that you should have a business account is because of this. So the moment you have a business account, Instagram gives you access to insights. Now, it's very, very important for you to keep a track of your insights. These insights tell me what my audience is like. So this is telling me my audience is 31% women and 69% men. So I have to ensure that most of my posts are relevant to men as well. It also tells me what is the age group of the audience that I have. It also shows me which day of the week is my best day. So my followers, if I'm talking about the 11,000 people that I have, which day are they most active and what time of the day. So if I go to hours, it'll show me on Wednesday, my followers come online at 9 p.m. maximum, which tells me that if I have to do a post on Instagram, I should ideally do it at 9 p.m. to get maximum reach. So seeing this, I will decide what is the right time for me to post. These are few story formats. So like I was talking about stories, you can do absolutely different kind of stories. So this is the Ask Me Anything filter, right? This is an Instagram story again, where I ask people to ask me anything. So they asked me, how do you take your dogs for a walk in the lockdown? How do you exercise them? So I gave them the answer and I put a picture of my dogs. This is one picture of mine where I had gone to Georgia and I had posted that. Now, because of the lockdown, obviously we're not traveling anywhere. I had lots of travels planned and everything has gotten cancelled. So I had to decide, how do I still stay relevant? And I want to figure out that I want to do something for my followers. So I started a Travel Chatter live session where I'm getting speakers, and I do this every Thursday at 7 p.m. where I go live with a speaker and I host it, and I'm getting speakers who can add some learnings or takeaways to my followers. I'm not getting another traveler and we're not talking, oh, we had a great trip to this country and that country, because that's not relevant. People are not interested to hear about kaun se country jana hai. But what I am doing is I'm getting people like a counseling psychologist. I'm getting a paranormal investigator. I got a COVID positive patient. I got a chef. I got a LinkedIn expert. So I keep getting different people as speakers, which helps me to learn from their success stories and failures as well as my followers. So that is a property that I have started, of course, because of this lockdown. I am also into live storytelling. Now, I wanted people to know that other than being a travel influencer and a marketer, I also am into live storytelling. So that's another hobby that I have. And I had done a show recently in Mumbai. So that's something that I put up on my stories as well. So your stories are more about what you do on a day-to-day basis. Okay, sorry, I had the insights here as well. Okay, now that was about stories, which is there on top, right? Now moving on, we are coming to posts. So when you post, now on Instagram, what is most important is you have to have a consistent schedule. So for me, if I have to post 4 days a week, I should definitely post 4 days a week. It can't be कि एक हफ्ता एक किया, दूसरे हफ्ता 4 किया, फिर 5 किया. Followers will drop. Instagram is all about being consistent. And that's really, really important. Then keep checking your insights, which I mentioned over here. So I showed you all this cut. Another cut of insights is this, which also tells me where my audience is from. So I have maximum audience from Mumbai, then Delhi, then Tehran. I don't know why I have audience from Tehran, but I do. Then Calcutta, Bangalore. And the age group. So my maximum audience is from 25 to 34, and the next cut being 18 to 24, and then 35 to 44. So this is my 3 main age groups that I have to work towards making the right content. Then when you post, so if you go to my Instagram profile and you see, then jo pehle ke post the, when I posted probably in 2016 or 2017, people would come on my post, they would like it, they would comment, but I would not reply. I would not comment anything back. Theek hai yaar, comment aaya hai. Now that is a big no-no. If someone has taken time out to come to your profile and comment, you have to comment back. And don't just write thank you or a heart emoji. जो मैं अभी भी कभी-कभी करती हूँ, time नहीं होता है. But you should actually write a meaningful comment, an intelligent comment back, so that that person wants to comment even on your next post. The more people comment on your posts, the more your engagement scores go up. So this is very important. Promote Instagram on other social media accounts. Now on Facebook, I also have a lot of followers. On Facebook, I have a lot of friends who probably don't follow me on Instagram, right? Because Instagram, the followers are more people I don't know. So I will talk about my Instagram profile on Facebook as well, hoping that those people start following me on Instagram. Now you also want to drive traffic to your blog or to your website. So I will, whenever I have a new blog, I will talk about it and get people on my website. I will also schedule posts through Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a app where you can schedule posts. So if I don't have time on Monday, I know I have a very busy day of meetings, I can schedule my post right now and it'll just post automatically. And there are few platforms like Unoligo. So look up the website of Unoligo. Unoligo is basically a platform that, and it's not just for influencers. I mean, we also use it for our corporate brands, where even Unilever, where they look at consolidating all your comments and everything. So whatever the brand, wherever the brand has digital presence on the online platform, they will consolidate everything on that one platform, and you can comment, like, look at your complaints, everything in that one platform. So again, that's a very good website. Moving on to post kar diya, stories kar diya. How do I increase engagement? First point, be very active. Just like you want people to comment on your images, even you have to comment on others' images. And trust me, this is time consuming. Even right now, at times it gets to me, kitna Instagram mein rahu. But you have to do it. If you're building a brand, you have to comment on others' images. If you have any fellow content creator, so I am a travel blogger, there could be other travel bloggers. So if they have launched a new blog, I will probably share them or give a shout out of their brand on my page. Because when the need comes, then even they'll do it for me. Learn from your best performing Instagram content. Now, Instagram, it's very difficult at times to understand the algorithm. Ki social media mein chalta kya hai? For example, day before yesterday, I posted a picture, which is one of my favorite pictures, okay? And it hardly got 150, 200 likes. Iske pehle I've posted a picture which is not very good, and that's got 2000 likes. So it's very difficult to understand which picture is good and which caption is good. So figure out which post of yours has done really well and learn from that. Usme kya hashtags use kiye hai? Is it a short caption? Is it a long caption? Is it me? Is it a landscape? What is working better on my feed on social media? And this applies to both Instagram, Facebook, everything. Now on Instagram, you can make total 30 hashtags on your post. Now you can decide whether you want to use all 30 or lesser. But when I started out, I would use all 30 and choose the right hashtags. There are few hashtags that have high volume. When you search for the hashtag, it'll show you in bracket how much is the volume. So you can do a mix. Choose some hashtags which have low volume, choose some which have medium volume, and some which has very high volume. Because then it'll give you a good coverage of all hashtags. Geotag your images. So just this evening, I have posted a picture on Jordan. And I will definitely write in my location is Jordan, because when people search for Jordan on Instagram, my post might come up. Like I said, depending on what's worked well, experiment with your caption. Do a lot of videos. Now, videos on Instagram get a lot of engagement. They get far more engagement than photos. Now, to start out, I was super conscious about doing videos. While I can speak live and stuff, but mere samne agar video camera lag diya, usme bolo, I got very conscious. But trust me, your first video will be bad. Your second video will be better. But when your third video, you will be super confident. So the thing is, just put it out there. Don't think about how I'll make the perfect video and then put it out. Just start with doing videos. Also include a call to action. So for example, in your post, when you're writing, niche likho, what do you think? So if you see my last few posts, I have done that. And I do that quite often, where I'm asking people, what does this picture remind you of? What do you think of this picture? And don't think about the response. Some people might comment, some people might not comment. But you have to start doing these things. Now, Instagram is a visual inspiration platform. And like I said, to be an influencer, you have to have good pictures, be it food shots, be it people, be it landscape. Now, you don't really need a fancy camera. If you go to my Instagram profile right now, all my pictures are taken on an iPhone because I hardly carry an SLR. So even phone can take great photos, but be very particular. You want clear pictures, try and take pictures in natural light, and learn photo editing. So this picture definitely wasn't this bright. Obviously, I have edited it a little bit, like don't over edit it, then it looks artificial. I have increased the brightness a little bit, increased the temperature a little bit to make it a little more attractive. So that is something you have to do before you post your pictures on Instagram, because people want to see the perfect pictures. And for social media, make sure you, like for this, for example, this horizontal picture, I will put on my post. But stories do better when you put vertical format. So take landscape and portrait. Say take horizontal and vertical photos. Then coming down to the main thing, which is how do you then reach out to brands, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to make money and hence you want brands to reach out to you. So firstly, make a media kit or a work portfolio. Pitch only to relevant brands. So I will only pitch brands that I want to pitch, that I want to promote. I will not promote each and every brand that comes my way. So for example, if you look at the picture on the left-hand side, this is when I was in New York last December, and Airtel had tied up with me, and Airtel had told me that they want me to promote Airtel International Roaming Abroad. So I had done this post for them. And again, be very particular, you know, being a marketeer, like since I'm a marketeer and I'm an influencer, I have been on both sides of the table, right? So I know exactly what a marketer needs from an influencer. So don't just pitch to brands that you want a free product or a free trip or a free hotel stay. You have to add relevance. You have to prove to the brand what's in it for them. How will your content make it any different? And you won't believe there are times when I had 3,000 followers. Even then I have had brand collaborations. But why? Because I would pitch them on my website. I would tell them, yes, I have a low number of followers, but you look at my website and people would be very impressed seeing my website and they would want to pay me to promote their posts or to promote their brand. And to start with, it'll be a mix of barter and it'll be a mix of pay. So some people will just give you the products and tell you that please promote it for us. We are giving you the free products. So at the beginning, you might want to do some barter as well. Again, don't oversell your deliverables. Only pitch how much of you can deliver. If you think you're not comfortable with video, tell them I can't do a video. I will just do 3 posts and 2 stories. And then you ask them accordingly for your pay. Tag the brands you want to collaborate with. And like I said, do a mix of barter and pay. Now this again is a brand collaboration I did with this baker called Bakes and Batters. And I did a little differently. I focused on the product, etc. And these are a few more pictures of brand collaborations where, you know, I had in Bombay, there's this restaurant called Butter Chicken Factory, and they had invited me to come and review them. Now, I have seen that in my social media, when I put pictures which has me in them, that does a lot better. So I wanted to ensure I am there, but definitely the focus was the food. Now, this was a fitness brand, Yoga Bars, which wanted to tie up with me. Now, I could have just posted a picture holding the box. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make it a little innovative. So I happened to get my dog in the picture as well. And this was again when I had gone to a shopping mall and just put some shoppers packets were there. And I took this picture with the credit card that they had given me. It was a Forex card. So yeah, so that's about it. Now I will just summarize my recipe. So whatever I've spoken so far, Instagram is one of your main platforms. If you're good at videos, you could also open a YouTube channel. But like I said, whether you have a YouTube channel, whether you have Facebook, whether you have Instagram, all of the platforms have to tie in together. Now, when you're on Instagram, Instagram keeps saying that you should use all their platforms. So Insta Live, I hope you all have heard of, but Insta Live is something that you should do, which is what I've started every Thursday. So at least try and go live once a week, even if you are not talking to the camera. You know, a lot of people are conscious talking to the camera. What you could do is, if you're a food blogger, for example, you could cook, go live and show them what you're cooking. You could start with simple videos like that. You could do videos of short format. Instagram has an IGTV, which takes in short format videos. You could actually start posting videos there if you don't. So I don't have like a big YouTube channel. I hardly have 8 to 9 subscribers on YouTube because I haven't promoted YouTube. But now I plan to start my IGTV and post a lot of videos over there. Take a basic photography course if required. And I'm not saying a paid course. There are tons of these courses available on YouTube and on Google. Collaborate with other content creators. Don't compete with them. Look at your insights. Very important, and strategize accordingly. Do a lot of publicity amongst your network. So whenever you have a blog live, send it to as many people, not just on Instagram and Facebook. Send it to your WhatsApp broadcast list. Send it to your friends. Tell them to share it. That's how people get to know about your brand. Encourage comments. Whenever you put anything on social media, encourage people to comment, because like I said, your engagement score goes up. And be prepared for slow growth. A lot of us get overwhelmed. So even 1 year back, I was like, yeah, yaar, kuch nahi ho raha hai. Followers to badi nahi rahe. Let me just focus on my marketing job. But if I had given up, I wouldn't have reached 11,000 followers today. So it's about, social media is about slow growth. So don't give up hope. Just be consistent and just keep on posting. Do not get overwhelmed with numbers. So that is, sorry, this is an old message. That is pretty much what I had. This is how you can follow me on Instagram. I'm present as travel.chatter, on Facebook as Travel Chatter. This is my email address and this is my website. So of course, while this webinar is done, but any questions that you all have, please do feel free to reach out to me. And with this, let your circle of influence begin. So that's all that I have. Let's open it up for questions now.
Thank you, Anindita. Wonderful session. The forum is open for questions. If anybody has any questions, please do ask questions. Now, before you start asking questions, let me clarify something to you. We have different kinds of professionals here. We have a doctor who is a specialist into cardiology and diabetology. We have an oral health specialist, Dr. Lalit Borade, who is a dentist. We have Namrata, who is now getting into storytelling. Myself and Anand, we are business coaches. We have Sanmit Dixit, who is coming up with a young entrepreneur, coming up with a breakthrough concept into automobile sector. We have Stanley, who is into electrical vehicle advising company. So all of us on this platform whom we are talking, we have Samson, who is owner of a software company also. So how Anindita's session would help you is, for example, just to put it into a context, we have Dr. Malvika Suchak here. As I said, she's a cardiologist and a diabetologist. Now she can become an influencer in her sector by talking about lot of things into cardiology and diabetology, and how you can actually avoid getting obese, like how you can avoid becoming another Joel D'Souza. So avoid getting obese, and put on a lot of preventive things onto medicines and diets and all that stuff, and you become an influencer into that particular sector.
Sorry, Joel, just to add to that, she can actually do a lot more, because see, travel, not again everybody will do. Not everybody is crazy about traveling and all that, right?
Correct.
But if you talk about diabetes and not putting on weight, that's even more important. Those things people will read much more than they will read travel. So that's like a daily, day-to-day thing that you have to be healthy. All of us are growing old. We have to take care of our health, and even how we all know how we have to build that immunity now. So
absolutely.
Things, if you start putting on social media, put educational videos, put educational posts, it will really, really do very well.
That's what I wanted to tell. So Malvika ma'am, this is something that you can do in your section. We have Dr. Borole, who is a dentist, and he can also do similar things into his section of practice. And we have different professionals who are doing it. Like, as I always say, social media marketing is the only way of marketing from nearby future. And probably the way, as Anindita mentioned, unless you are an influencer, unless you command some, you have a good credential, good credibility on the online platform, you'll not be able to market yourself. So how do you build your credibility is getting your videos, your educational content, your creative content across social media platforms, especially as we learned today how to use Instagram to the best of what we can do. And that is how you build your specter. And it is not going to happen overnight. It will take some time, but it will definitely happen. I have experienced it. It will definitely happen. So in that context, if you have any questions, like Malvika ma'am, Namrata, Sanmit, who is here, we have even Aparna, who is a home kitchen specialist. She is an excellent baker and a wonderful cook. So probably she, as you said, that you can try going live into cooking kitchen and all that stuff. It's something really good. So if you have any questions, the chat box is open. I'll request Anand to unmute everybody. So you can raise your hands and we can address questions one by one.
Just one more thing I would like to add. Another thing that really sells on social media is adding customer testimonials. Now, again, Malvika ma'am, for you would be getting a lot of people, patients who are all praises about you, right? You want to take short videos of that and start putting it up on social media. Influencer to baad mein hoga. I'm saying just people who are right now don't have an Instagram profile or are not active, get active. Start putting customer testimonials on your post, on your stories. That really helps because we relate to other people who have had a good experience with you, and hence they would want to come to you.
Very good suggestion, ma'am. And also I was thinking that I should go deep within myself and start making educational videos about diabetes and heart problems which common people may be having after a particular age group.
Right.
I have also had testimonials from my patients when I was in Vienna, and I tried to share it with the audience. So I already have the testimonials of my patients, but I think I would like to go a little bit more deep and make educational videos which would be of help to the patients also.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So I would like to add something out here. I think, see, whenever someone enters into the influencer field, they get in for two reasons. Okay, so one is fame and one is
Sanmit, is it you that you're speaking? Can you switch on your video, please?
I think my video is already on. Can you see me?
I cannot see you all. I cannot see you.
Hello.
No, Sanmit, your video is not on. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I would like to add one more thing out here. I mean, whenever someone enters the influencer field, you mainly enter for two reasons. Okay, so one is fame and one is money. So I've seen a lot of people doing see all the information at this point of time in this era is available on Google. So a lot of people, what they do is they, gather all the information together, tag it as a course, and sell it for $200,000, which doesn't really make sense. Because what you're just doing is you're just gathering all the information in one place and you're just putting it out to the people. So in the influencer thing, a soft launch is very easy. I mean, you can do everything on your own once you depend, or once you have a good, money rolling in, or good, followers rolling in. You can have a lot of community. So you can build community. Once you have the community, you can just do wonders. So the community means the people who believe in you. Okay. Influencers leads to some brands connecting with you and they paying you for posting their images. Stories, posts, and lives, and many other things. So when you actually go ahead and build a community, after that you can plan something even better, even long term than that. Okay, and that time you know that there are some people who are ready to advise you, who are ready to give feedback to you, who are ready to test your product, who are ready to listen to you, basically whatever you say. So I believe that is one point that one should take care about. And soft launch is very easy. You can have, there are a lot of websites to just soft launch anything. You can do everything on your own at the beginning. And once you feel it's the time to hire some professionals, you can really do that and go ahead with that as well. And Anita ma'am, you were talking about Instagram and awkward, and Instagram may die anytime. So I believe Instagram is, the place where the world is, booming now, right now. Like if I am connecting to a lot of people around the world, from Germany, from Russia, from US, from a lot of countries. That is probably through Instagram, or there are a lot of other factors as well. But the thing which Instagram has, the popularity, the amount of users, I don't think any other channel has it. So instead of worrying about if it may go down in future, or if it may lose the audience in future, what you should focus right at this point of time is just making the best out of it. Post free content, give it free knowledge, let people follow you for years of some real content.
Right.
So that's what I would like to add.
Yeah, so Sanjit, I totally agree with you. So when I spoke about Instagram, of course, my entire presentation was mostly on Instagram, right? So of course, Instagram is the most popular platform. But what I've said is, don't just do Instagram. Have your own website as well. That's my only point. Because by chance, say 20 years later, Instagram is not there. It's not as popular. Then you have your website to fall back on. It should not happen because Instagram nahi hai, to travel chatter nahi hai. I at least have my website, right? So that's the point. But definitely Instagram. If you saw 20 slides, my 15 slides on Instagram only. So you're absolutely right. And yes, a lot of people do that where they copy paste from Google and they put it. But when you go through a person's profile, you will be able to tell kaun genuine hai, kaun nahi hai, kaun copy paste kar raha hai. You can tell very easy. Like any layman can also tell. So definitely and you can tell from the engagement also. If you are posting good content, engagement will keep going up. If you're not, it keeps going down. And definitely, yes, like you rightly said, Instagram is the best way to stay connected with people all across the world. Like, I have so many friends across the world now who I'm connected only through Instagram. So yeah, so Sandeep, very good points. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Hi.
Samit, for those points. Namrata, go ahead.
Which is all mine.
Yes. Hi, Anindita. Thank you for the wonderful session. It's really truly inspiring. And as you correctly said, that everything takes a time. It should be slow and steady. As Joel introduced me as a storyteller, so I'm passionate about telling the stories and writing, small kind of poetry or one-liners kind of thing. But what I learned from today's session is to how the content should be of mine and I only should be get promoted. Till that I was writing for anybody and anyone. Whosoever approaches me, I used to write. I write for a mom's blog for the provis.com. But then I stopped it. Jaise aapne kaha na, consistency should be there. So that consistency was not there. Definitely there are n number of reasons, but these are excuses. Because if we think of growing it, we should know how to break that ek rehta na ki, the what do you say, we should break that thought that excuses ko hame todna aana chahiye. So that's how I'm trying it, and this session definitely I'm going to learn and pick up lots of things. Creating a website is now my first to-do task from today. Monday ka office ka to-do task Monday ko dekhenge, but from today weekend I will make sure that I create a website, because whatever the contents I have written, even Joel have never appreciated samne se, but then he have said that हाँ नम्रता तू लिख लेती है ठीक ठाक करके. So but then I am doing it for free and for anyone. So that is the point which I learned it from you today, that I should create a website, I should put it right content and the creative contents in that, so that at least I can start building my audience for the long term. I'm not expecting any miracle in a day or in a week, but for a long term, yes, I should start making a practice of it. See, this is one of the one of the thing which I keep on getting in between. So this is what it happened always with a master. So he comes, he does that in every call. Just give me 2 minutes, I'm on a call. So this is what it is, how the life it is. But that have never stopped me in writing it. And thank you so much for guiding this and helping out to understand what is the importance of creating a website. As you said that Instagram chala jayega, Facebook chala jayega, website aapka kabhi nahi jayega. So that's a key learning from the session. Thank you, Anindita. Thanks.
You're welcome, Namrata. I'm so happy that all these points can help you all, because that's my objective here. And even after this webinar, of course, today we probably have limited time, but any of you all want to reach out to me, you can take my phone number, my email address. I'm on Instagram, DM me. But please, however I can help you all, I'm more than happy to help you all.
One more thing, if you guys don't mind at all.
Thank you.
So when I mentioned
certainly, Anindita, I will connect with you, because connecting with influencer always influence you and always keep you on toes to do what you want in your life, except the mommy job, except the job which I do. So exactly. It's always good to connect with the influencer. So it keeps on reminding you and clicking the clock beside ki ye aapko karna hai. This is your main objective and passion is. Whatever you are doing is a part of your job and life. But what you want is that you have to achieve it.
Exactly. And what are you doing for yourself? You're doing so much for your kids, you're doing so much for your family, so much for your husband. I tell my mother, I tell my ma today, कि तुमने अपने लिए क्या किया यार? सिर्फ हमें ही बड़ा किया. You took care of my father. What do you do for yourself? So that's what I keep telling people. Mothers have the same
thing. I tell my mom that I obeyed you. Yeah, I obeyed you. I got married. I got a kid. Everything I got it. I have a perfect life. I have a perfect husband. Perfect kid, but what I have nothing. I have to still achieve. So that's how it is. Yeah.
Great.
Okay, great, fantastic, Namrata. Very good.
Yeah.
We have a question from Stanley Anindita. He says that it was a great session, but in order to become a subject matter expert of my domain, what pointers will you suggest me? Now he's an e-mobility specialist. He is into electrical vehicle manufacturing, designing, and all that stuff. So he's specifically asking what pointers will you suggest him if he wants to become a subject matter expert of his domain?
Okay. So whatever your subject is, I think being on social media firstly is most important. And once you are, obviously the kind of topics that you have probably might not be relevant to anybody and everybody. But what you could do is promote a few stuff that you have and promote it to the right audience. You can actually promote a few of your posts where you promote them, and people may or may not like them. But if they think it's relevant, they will. So you will have to, in Instagram, there is a way when you promote posts, it also shows you what is the interest level of those people, what are the kind of age group that you want to promote with, city. You'll have to choose that probably to get a lot of reach. But again, I won't suggest doing that right at the beginning. First, just create a page. I don't know, Stanley, if you're on Instagram yet, but at least
I
create
am
a
on
page.
Instagram.
You are,
I
right?
am on Instagram. Yes, but
Okay.
not so much into it.
Okay, so that's something that has to change. I think you have to consistently keep posting. And even in your subject, right, you will have educational stuff, you will have videos, you will have things that you excel in. So you might want to write about that on your social media profiles. You might want to promote a few posts. You might want to tie up with other people who are in your area and learn from them. But again, first step is keep posting. You have to keep posting content. Unless you post content, there's no way to move ahead.
All right. Thank you, Anindita, for answering Stanley's question. Now we have another question
you so
from
much.
Ruel. He asked, how can I convert my friends on Facebook to followers on Instagram, as I have many friends there and I have a blog that I have not yet promoted or consistently posted? And thank you, it was a great session. So how can he convert his friends in Facebook to followers on Instagram?
So that you have to do by asking your Facebook friends to follow you. So what I do, I have a lot of friends on Facebook. Not everybody follows me on Instagram because some of them don't like Instagram or they're not even there on Instagram. But whoever is, I send them DMs, personal messages. Hi, I'm present on Instagram as well. You might want to follow me there. Or things that you're posting on Instagram, start sharing it on your Facebook post. So people will keep seeing, oh, she's doing this on Instagram. She's doing that on Instagram. So for example, my Instagram live sessions that happen every Thursday, now I usually get a very good speaker. Like I said, I got a COVID positive patient. So a lot of people were interested in attending that live. I had around 700 to 800 viewers for that live. So what I did is I put the promotion creative on Facebook and I told people I'm going live on Instagram with her on so and so topic. Here is my Instagram profile to attend. So then people will come onto my Instagram profile. So whatever you do on Facebook, try linking it to your Instagram. Of course, you can't push people too much. Arey, mujhe abhi follow karo, nahi karenge. But try and subtly integrate your Instagram link into your posts. That is something that will help. And you've said, I have a blog that not yet promoted. Yeah, so that's something you have to do. If you have a blog, then great. You've already taken the first step. Yeah. And you have to promote it at least on your social media platforms. Tell people, hey, this is a new article I've written. Why don't you go and log in and visit my website and read it, and put a link to your article on Facebook and Instagram both.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Anindita. Really appreciate
Thanks, Anindita.
And one more thing, Ruel, when you are promoting a blog or an article on Instagram post, on the post, you can't put the link. You will have to put the link in the bio, where I mentioned link in bio, where I told you put your website address. There you will have to put the link, and you have to write on Instagram, hi, I've just written this new article. This is what it covers. To read more, click on the link in bio. So just, if you go through my Instagram profile, there are a few blogs, like my recent Costa Rica blog. Usme maine wahi likha hai. Click on the link in bio. That's how you do it on Instagram.
Okay, very good. Very good.
So I have a question, Anindita, to it. When we post the website link or a link where we are writing it, the blog link, because I write for your quote. That's the only app for which dedicatedly I'm writing once or twice a week, which is, and it's doing okay for the moment. So I have posted that link on my bio in Insta. So indirectly I'm promoting you're not promoting my work, is it?
Amrita.
Sorry, I could hear you clearly. I think your voice is coming very low. Can you speak a little louder, please?
Okay, is it fine now? Okay, is it fine now?
Yeah, better.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, better.
Okay, so I write for your quote application. Okay, that's a quote application, quote app where I write it religiously once or twice a week, and I have promoted that in my bio link in Insta. Okay, so that means I'm promoting the your work instead of my work. Is it so?
No, so right now you are writing over there and hence you're promoting it, which is fine because people are reading your work over there. Yes, in a way you are promoting their website, but your work also exists in their website, which is fine. If you have your own website, then definitely put that. But if you don't, then you don't have any other option but to put their website address. But at least do that.
So creating Yeah, so creating a website is more advisable than comparing to using already the platforms which we have to write, right?
Yeah.
Because the authentication and the copyright remains with them, not with us,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
So if you have your own website, that's the best option. But you can't build your website tomorrow. It'll take some time. So as of now, at least you want people to know about the things that you write. So you will have to promote, get people to their website, which is okay for now. But in the long run, you should definitely look at building your own platform.
So WordPress, take care of the copyright also, or we have to. I mean, this is just another platform to promote our work. How it is? Because I'm not aware of that platforms which we use generally.
So WordPress, you can have copyright. Mine is not copyright, of course, but then you can have copyright. Like my pictures are copyright. So I have actually, I had disabled the right click on my pictures earlier, but then I got people telling me that, when you click on your pictures, it doesn't expand. So then I removed it. But you, of course, probably want to have the copyright over there. So you can just write to WordPress and they'll tell you the process. I'm not very sure about the copyright process, but if you write, there is a contact us in WordPress, you can write to them and they'll get back to you on the copyright bit.
Okay.
But it's a very easy platform to use.
I wanted to ask, how do you build up your website? So I'm around 53 and I'm a little bit scared of, being on online. It has to be a good website. How would I go about creating a good website for myself?
So like I mentioned,
Contact Joel for contact Joel.
yeah,
That's why I waved my hand.
yeah, you might want to actually, like for example, I think Sanmit has also sent something. So I am not an expert as well in building a website. So I had taken help from a friend who knows about website building. But like I said, if you go to WordPress, WordPress has a lot of templates. You just have to click a template that you want and then start putting your pictures and your articles over there. So WordPress is the easiest one that I know, but there are a lot of other platforms where you can build a website. But again, if you're not very comfortable with it yourself, you can always reach out to someone who will help you do it.
Yeah, Malvika ma'am, we have Samson Redimala in the screen who is participant here. He's the one who has developed all my websites, my automobile business, my coaching business, my personal branding website, everything he has built. He's there on a LinkedIn. He's there on a LinkedIn community group. You can touch base with him, and he will guide you what has to be done.
Okay.
And even
Yes, I'll be happy to do it, Malvika, for you.
Can you please? Yeah, what's your name, sir? I didn't get it.
My name is Samson. I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
Samson.
Okay.
And Sanmit has also written some stuff on the chat box where he's written down given a few links that can be used for social media.
Yeah, Samit has given some links. Yes.
Some tools. Yes. Okay, Anandita, now Samson has a question. He says that it was a great session, Anandita, very practical tips. I'm into software development and programming. Suggestions for us.
Software development and programming, I really don't know much about. Totally not my forte. But
Nobody knows about it. Nobody knows about it. What it is all about.
But yeah, I mean,
basically, what I'm trying to ask is, because it is more technical, will there be any viewership or any liking if I put those content? Because it is catering to only very few technically oriented audience. So, is there a point in putting such kind of stuff? Will there be any?
So I totally think there is definitely a point in putting up everything. So whoever your competition is, if you are not very active on Instagram or on social media, go and look at what your competition is doing and how much engagement they are getting. So, my biggest example to this is, I work for Pest Control India, right? Rent to Kill PCI. What did we talk about on social media? Cockroach, rats, termites. Now, if that can get likes and comments, definitely software development and programming can get. When I joined Pest Control India, I was like, cockroach ka photo kaun like karega yaar? Who the hell will like termite pictures? But people do. Even if so there are few brands where the involvement is low, which is one of yours, of course. But again, it all depends on how you word your content, how you're presenting it to your customers, what is the kind of pictures you're giving. So if your content you can make a little engaging, then it'll definitely, like I said, it'll take time, but it'll definitely do well. But you have to keep on posting, keep on being consistent, and keep ensure that you are creating engaging content. That is the most important.
So
Thanks so much.
I have someone for you to follow. You know, this guy called Tanay Pratap. So he's a developer at Microsoft. He started like 1 year ago with Instagram, and now he has a community of more than 20,000 people, all in
All right.
tech, all techie people. So you can check him out, how he does that, how he publishes his content, and how he engages people into his content.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amit. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's why you should follow some people who are good in this arena, in this area, so that you know what is it that they are posting. So for me,
Absolutely.
obviously, I don't follow any software developer and programming, but I do follow people like SEO experts, like Neil Patel that I was talking. So even
Yes.
Neil Patel is all about search engine optimization, which a lot of people don't understand. But in his Instagram page, he makes it very simple. He gives some very simple tips ki kya karna hai SEO ke liye, why is it important, and he gets very good engagement. So you can follow somebody who's big in this field and then check their Instagram profile and then post accordingly.
Perfectly makes sense. Thanks so much, Anandita.
Welcome.
Thank you, Anandita, for answering. Samson, Ruel has a question. Ruel, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to know if in the Instagram account, initially when I opened it, now I got it on as a personal account. But one of the things Anandita has suggested is to make it a business account. So can I convert that into a business account? Or?
Yes, nothing will change. You can convert from your personal account to business account anytime. Nothing will change. You will not lose any followers. You will not lose any comments, any previous posts that you have done. Everything will remain the same. But the moment you convert to business, you get access to all those insights that I spoke about.
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any more questions? I think we are done. All right, it's about 8:15 and about good time to say goodbye to everyone. Once again, thank you from all the participants of LinkedIn Local, Kalyan Dombili, Anandita, to you. Thank you for this wonderful session. It was really, really enlightening, and I hope, I sincerely hope Namrata, Dr. Malvika, Dr. Lalit, and there is Aparna, she's not visible, Sanmit, Stanley, Samson, we all make use of her experience and her wisdom that she shared today, her experience, and we take our respective games to the next level. All right. Thank you once again, Anandita, from all of us at LinkedIn Local, Kalyan Dombili. And we look forward to
Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
I'm really, really happy, and I hope this helps. And I'm looking forward to having or conversing with you all again in some platform.
Sure.
Thank you.
Certainly will come. Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.